Good morning and welcome to the 47th Annual Governor's Breakfast. Please stand and join me in welcoming the Governor of the great state of Michigan, the Honorable Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you. Please stay standing for the presentation of the colors by the Cadillac Area Honor Guard. At this time, I'd like to introduce Donna Willis for this morning's invocation.
Good morning. If I could have you bow your heads. I'd like to celebrate Pope Francis today and his life mantra. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself. and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is the rule of nature. We are born to help each other, no matter how difficult it is. Life is good when you are happy, but it is so much more sweeter when others are happy because of you. For the students, we ask that the Lord send a spirit upon them, fill them with wisdom, visions, and blessings. Grant them that they may devote themselves to their studies and draw close to you. May they find the courage and freedom in pursuit to the highest calling in their precious futures. For our community, we pray just as he did that we may be one, that we ask that you would bind us together in the bond of love, that we set aside our differences and come together as one body united in purpose and love. Let our unity be of love and testimony to the power of your gospel. May you draw others to you and inspire us to seek love and unity in our lives. And to our leaders, the people at the front of the room, Lord, grant our leaders unity and purpose. Help us to focus our shared goals and collaborate effectively to achieve the best outcomes for all. We ask that we have harmony, respect, and understanding, and set aside our differences for the common good. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. Psalm 133. And I end this with 1 Corinthians 13:13. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. May we love one another as God loved his church. May we offer our hearts as a sacrifice to the greater good. Amen.
Thank you, Donna. Now please remain standing and remove your hats and display the appropriate salute for the national anthem. Thank you to the Cadillac High School Band for playing our national anthem this morning, and also thank you to the Cadillac Honor Guard for the presentation of our colors. You may be seated. So again, welcome to the 47th Annual Governor's Breakfast. I'm Craig Hewitt. I'm the president of B&P Manufacturing here in Cadillac. I also serve as the board chairman for the Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce. This event is entirely produced by the members in this room, our community, our business leadership, our future community leaders. So please take a moment to look at the QR codes. If you want to see the full program, they're at all of your tables. I would like to ask our chamber ambassadors, our Connect to Cadillac group, and the Leadership Advisory Committee to please stand up so we can recognize you for your hard work that went into this event today. So thank you, all of you. This event is only possible with our sponsors. I would like to acknowledge ITC as our presenting sponsor today, as well as Consumers Energy for our welcome sponsor. You will hear a little bit from both of them a little bit later in the presentation. Networks Northwest And the Forest Area Credit Union are our school sponsors, and so we're very fortunate to have the schools here today. You're an important part of our future, and we want to make sure that you're included in events like this. We also have great partnerships with this event, and we wouldn't be able to pull it off without their help. But Cadillac Area Public Schools has helped us. MR Products, home of Mr. Chang, Continental Linen Service, and Chunky Bear Coffee Roasters has provided the coffee station, which has been frequented quite a bit already this morning. So thank you for being here today. Finally, I'd like to note the banners and signs around the Wex here today. These are from our amazing sponsors, and we appreciate your investment in the Chamber and our community. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce Board, as well as the visionary members who continuously invest in the Chamber and make it a vital part of our community. And certainly I want to acknowledge the hard work of Bethany Miller and Victoria Martin, your Chamber team. Absolutely. They are the behind-the-scenes champions of this event and making sure that the work of the Chamber gets done right every single day. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the students to the governor and to our elected officials and our business community. So, give me a shout out and make some noise when I call your school name, okay? So I'm looking for Marion. Where is Marion? All right. That sounded a little soft. So let's do a test. I want to do a test right now. So I'm sure we have some people here that are over 50 years old. So everybody that's over 50 years old, let's make some noise, like right now. Professor! All right. Students, you're not going to let a bunch of old people out, do we, now, are you? All right. How about Pine River? The Pine River Bus. Nice. Very good. I'm looking for Misa. And I understand Manistee has made it here today. Nice, thank you. McBain High School. And Northern Michigan Kristen, also up from McBain. Bear Lake. Absolutely, you bet. And then Onekama High School. Do I need to bring the old people back out? I'm looking for Calvin Norman Dixon. There we go, that's how you do it. And the Cadillac Innovation High School. Nice. And then finally, the Cadillac High School, the Cadillac. You guys had the disadvantage, they had the band. So now I'm going to turn the program over to Patrick T., the Community Affairs Manager for Consumers Energy, and he's also a member of the Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce Board. And a special thanks to Consumers Energy for being our welcome sponsor today.
Thank you, Craig. Organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and events like the Governor's Breakfast help to educate and grow the ties of business, friendship, and community, thereby making it a great place to live, work, and play. So Consumers Energy is proud to once again be the welcome sponsor for the 47th Annual Governor's Breakfast. And we are glad that you're all here with us this day. The 8,000 people working for Consumers Energy are powering the lives of 6.8 million Michiganders. And I also want to call out the exceptional work of our crews and all of our teams involved in the storm restoration with the ice storms up north and the tornadoes and high winds in the southern part of the state. We had more than 390,000 out of power, and the Consumers Energy team worked around the clock to provide normalcy back to people when they restored their power. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our elected officials and special guests with us here today. We're honored to have a number from the Michigan House and Senate with us, so as I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Representing Michigan's 36th Senate District from right here in Wexford County, Senator Michelle Hoyga. Representing the 37th Senate District, Senator John DeMoose. Representing the 100th District of the Michigan House, Representative Tom Coombs. Representing the 101st District of the Michigan House, Representative Joseph Fox. Representing the 104th District of the Michigan House, Representative John Roth. We also have with us today Jay Gage from the office of U.S. Senator Alyssa Slotkin, Kelly Lively from the office of U.S. Senator Gary Peters, from the 1st Congressional District Office of Congressman Jack Bergman, Melanie Collinsworth, and from the 2nd Congressional District of Congressman John Molinar, Ashton Maloney. The Cadillac Area Chamber of Commerce was a founding member of the Northern Michigan Chamber Alliance, and we have remained committed to thinking regionally. With us today are several members of the Alliance. Would you please stand and help me welcome them? Yeah, thank you. The leadership program has been a success for decades now in training the next generation of leaders in our community. And we have with us the 2024 leadership class. Would they please stand and have everyone help me recognize them as well. Businesses and community leaders, applications will soon be open for next year's class, so make sure to talk to Beth and reserve your spots. We're also here today to honor our distinguished community award winners. Donna Willis, the 2024 Spirit of the Community Award. And Amy Gibbs, the 2024 Outstanding Citizen Award. I am honored now to introduce Chuck Marshall, ITC Michigan President and presenting sponsor of the 47th Annual Governor's Breakfast, to the podium for an introduction of the Governor.
Well, good morning. It's my privilege to be here in front of all of you today. Just a couple words before I formally do the introduction of the Governor here. Again, my name is Chuck Marshall. I am the president of ITC Michigan. What I've learned more recently is that people are beginning to understand who ITC is. It's easy for us to kind of fly under the radar, but it's great to hear that we're sort of doing our job in terms of educating the communities. For those of you that don't know, ITC, we operate the high voltage electric transmission system in Michigan's Lower Peninsula. Not all of it, but a significant portion of it. If that's still confusing, it's effectively the grid, as we commonly call it. So our largest customers in the state would be like Consumers Energy and DTE. So what might be a little bit closer to home is those of you that live in the Cadillac area, there's Wolverine Power Supply Cooperative. They are our utility peer and partner. Been to their offices many times, and it's always great to get up here. Just a couple things real quick in terms of my views and kind of my priorities for the state of Michigan. So just to level set, I am a lifelong Michigan resident, born and raised largely in Genesee County, just outside of Flint, Michigan. When I was in, I think it was middle school, my parents had bought a place, actually real estate outside of Gaylord, built a place on that, and that became our destination. Summers, weekends, vacations, truly love and have a passion for Northern Michigan. It was really snowmobiling that attracted us to this area, but now for me it's sort of the peace, the serenity, and so I love Michigan. I want Michigan to continue to be, it'll be my home, but my wife and I, we have 5 kids. Our oldest is 16, our youngest is 9. And so I start to think about their futures, right? I start to think about economic development, chambers, activities like this. Michigan's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. I think we have a lot of great industry and careers here, but I think there's a lot of work that remains to be done. And so my mission is really passion for economic development, really bringing utilities into that space. I think it's collectively all of our responsibilities to make sure that Michigan continues to grow. So it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge, as mentioned by Patrick, sort of the Northern Michigan ice storm that we all had to kind of work through here at the end of March, first part of April. So I'm an engineer. I went to Michigan Tech. I've been with ITC for 21 years, and this was truly unique. I'm not suggesting we've never experienced this as a state in the history of the state, but just the intensity, the waves of the storm, the fact that we were actively restoring the storm, and when we had restoration complete on a structure, then we would patrol the line and acknowledge that there's new trouble up the line 2 to 3 miles, and then the ice and the inability to operate equipment because it was encapsulated in 1.5 inches of ice. And so really just would like to say thank you to those that were involved, the workers around the clock in shifts restoring the system, recognizing that we had effectively customers that were out of service for, 13, 14, 15 days, right? And certainly my testament to you is that we're doing all things that we can do to prevent those things from happening again. But I would like to thank the governor for her leadership, her staff's leadership, really being a champion of Northern Michigan. I know taking that campaign even to DC to try to get some federal support. So without further ado, I'd like to formally introduce this morning's keynote speaker, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you for your leadership, your public service, and welcome back to the Cadillac Chamber.
Thank you to the Chamber. Thank you all for being here this morning. It is an honor to be the Governor of Michigan. It's an honor to be with you. I think my 7th year, or maybe we had a year off during the beginning of the pandemic, but I always look forward to attending this event. It is a special event. I speak all across our state in many different varieties, and this is something unique you have here in Cadillac. And so I always make this a priority because I think this is a beautiful community, and I'm grateful to be here. And so, one of my very favorite people on the planet lives in this community, and I'm talking about my stepson, Alex. So, Alex, I'm glad to see you too. Anyway, glad to be here with all of you. I want to thank the students who got up bright and early to be here with us. I know a lot of you get to miss class this morning to be here, but I'm hoping my speech will be at least a little more relaxing than AP Chem with Mr. Lloyd or World History with Ms. Kushmeider, but hopefully just as fun. I want to give a special shout out to those of you in Michigan Youth in Government and your advisor, Mr. Stitz. I had a chance to speak at your conference in Lansing a few years ago, and it was a lot of fun and really encouraging to see the incredible talented young people in our state. I want all the students here this morning to know that everything I'm going to talk about is ultimately about you. All of us in this room are united around our shared goals for our kids. We want you to help, we want to help you get a great education, find a good job, and build a bright future right here in Michigan. Every time I visit Cadillac, I'm inspired by this community. From the farmers market in the summer to a craft beer festival in the fall, this is a vibrant place to live. Now you might disagree on where the best place to get pizza is, G&D or Pizza Plus, but you're always ready to roll up your sleeves and help each other. And I think even in times of crisis, maybe especially in times of crisis, you get to see that spirit on the ground. When you see someone's car stuck on the side of the road or someone who needs help on the lake, you don't ignore them, you just help, because it's the right thing to do. So many who live in a kind and thoughtful way. Sometimes we forget this when we're talking about politics. We forget that the best way to get things done is to get them done together. That's really how I was raised, and I know that's how many Michiganders were raised, by one Republican parent and one Democratic parent. It's how we learn to lead. It's how I learned to navigate as a member of the legislature, where I served in the minority for 14 years, and it's why as governor, I remain willing to work with anyone who wants to get things done. In the last 7 years, I've signed over 1,500 bipartisan bills, 1,000 of which were passed when we had a completely Republican-controlled legislature. That includes 6 balanced bipartisan budgets, and earlier this year I proposed my 7th. The budget proposal that I put in front of the legislature stays focused on the kitchen table issues and make a real difference in people's lives. To the students, there's a lot in it for you. From free breakfast and lunch at school to the largest investment ever in on-campus career and tech education, more resources to help buy everything you need in your classroom, from texts to upgrading your libraries and shop classes and computer labs and more. And for small businesses, my budget funds job training, streamlines permitting, cuts red tape, connects employers to talent. And in communities like Cadillac, it'll build more housing, just like the ground we broke earlier at Cadillac Lofts 2. It'll protect clean water, and so much more. And for working families and seniors statewide, the budget continues rolling back the retirement tax, quintupling the working families tax credit, and those two things delivered $1 billion in tax breaks. So this year I'm going to keep working with both sides of the aisle in Lansing to get a balanced budget across the finish line. In addition to our work in Lansing at the state level, I'm focused on working with partners in Washington, D.C. and businesses across Michigan to make sure that we make more stuff in America, to strengthen our economy. Cadillac, of course, knows the importance of building things. From hand trucks at B&P Manufacturing to helmets at Avon Protection Services, you all know that when we build things here, we create jobs and help our families put down roots. When we build, our communities grow, local economies succeed, and we make important investments in things like housing and roads and schools. It just puts that on an even stronger track. But when we don't build, we stop growing and people leave. A few weeks ago, I delivered my Build America Build address in Washington, D.C., laying out a vision to bring critical manufacturing back home. Right now, China and other countries are pulling ahead, whether it's building ships or planes or semiconductor chips. We cannot let them single-handedly dominate the future of advanced manufacturing. All three of these industries are critical to our national security and create good-paying middle-class jobs. We as a state, out of all the states in the country, we are well-positioned to lead in this space. Earlier this year, I signed bipartisan bills to establish the Innovation Fund and an R&D tax credit, making it easier to start a company or test a new product here in Michigan. We're investing in talent by making community college tuition-free, lowering the cost of a four-year degree, and expanding apprenticeships. To the young people here, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to build a great life that you deserve and that you envision for yourself right here in Michigan. As we think about what our future is, we need to work together at the state and national level. Speaking of national level, I'm committed to working with the president wherever we can find shared priorities. I don't want to pretend like we're always going to agree, but I will always seek collaboration first. Michiganders elected us both twice, just 2 years apart. And I know you expect us to seek common ground wherever we can. A few weeks ago, I went to the White House. I met with President Trump to talk about a couple of issues: fighter planes, fish, and emergency relief for northern Michigan because of the ice storm. First, we spoke about the future of Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Macomb County. We need to protect this base, which is critical to our national security and supports thousands of local jobs, military families, our defense sector, and our national security. And it just doesn't impact Macomb County. It impacts Alpena and Grayling and Battle Creek. It impacts our whole defense economy that we have been building out. This is a huge deal to the state of Michigan. You don't have to live in one of those communities to feel it. This is about all of us. I also took the opportunity to talk about protecting the Great Lakes from an invasive species of Asian carp. Whether you think the fishing is better in Lake Cadillac or Lake Mitchell, everyone knows that our lakes are a crucial part of our identity and our economy. Right now, this invasive species of fish possess a threat to our ecosystem. If Asian carp ever make their way into Lake Michigan, they could cause billions of dollars of damage to our fishing industry, as well as our outdoor recreation industry. I also used the opportunity to talk about the ice storm. It's important. All the reports that we were getting in Lansing paled in comparison to when I was here on the ground and got an opportunity to see it with my own 2 eyes. During that meeting with the president, he publicly agreed on the importance of supporting self-ridge and protecting our lakes from invasive species. Both these issues are ultimately about protecting Michigan's economy. Now, I took some heat for going to DC and having that meeting, but I'm always going to go to bat for Michiganders if I think I can get something done. I believe in my heart of hearts that public service is about putting your constituents' needs above your own. And that's what I'm always going to try to do for the state of Michigan if there's something I can do. So for the young people here, I hope that you see it's always worth it to try, to show up, to do the hard thing. Some people, specifically people outside of Michigan and folks in DC, are surprised when I talk about working across the aisle. But the truth is that's how it's supposed to be. It's not new either, especially here in Michigan. It's how I was raised. Raised by a parent who worked for Bill Milliken, a Republican governor. Some of you older people who yelled at the first shout, know who I'm talking about. And Frank Kelly is who my mom worked for. For all 14 years I was in the Michigan legislature, I was in the minority the entire time. That means I had to work with my Republican colleagues in order to get anything done. I worked with Republicans to establish the Healthy Michigan Plan, Michigan's expansion of Medicaid that now provides health care for hundreds of thousands of Michiganders. As governor, I told you I've signed a lot of bipartisan bills. Compromise is not a weakness, it's a strength. Earlier this year, we saw another example of how working across the aisle can help us get things done. In February, I helped negotiate and sign a bipartisan deal on minimum wage and sick time. I know it's not perfect. People on both sides have criticisms of it. But I think we did the right thing for Michigan. Raised the tip minimum wage by the highest amount ever, now had paid sick leave, but also did it in a way that wouldn't cripple all the businesses in Michigan and the fear that they had, the justifiable fear. This summer, I want to keep that same energy on another huge important issue, and that's roads. Since I took office, we've fixed over 23,000 lane miles of road and 1,600 bridges with real investments right here in Cadillac, including M55 and US 131. But as my 5-year Rebuilding Michigan bond plan to fix our biggest highways and bridges wraps up, we need a long-term solution for local roads too, the roads you see and travel on every single day. This spring, I am hopeful that I can find common ground with the Republican Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, and the Democratic Senate Majority Leader, Winnie Briggs, and legislators on both sides of the aisle. As Michiganders, I think we have a duty to lead by example and show the rest of the country how, yes, we can disagree, but we can still deliver for the people. And now I want to speak directly to the students in the room. Let's talk about how we're making it more affordable for you to earn a degree in Michigan, or buy a house, or start a business, or a family when you're ready to. Many of you might be thinking about community college or university after graduating, and if so, I got great news for you. Every high school graduate in Michigan can go to their local community college for free now. That is a great opportunity. And if you've ever thought about going to Baker, now you can without racking a bunch of debt. You can also apply for the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. This is a scholarship that we set up, Democrats and Republicans, to save you up to $27,500 on your bachelor's degree. In Northern Michigan alone, 5,000 students are already using this scholarship to earn their degree. The only way, though, to unlock this money is by filling out your FAFSA. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you do. And if you have and are benefiting from it, tell your story, tell your fellow students, because we don't want anyone to leave money on the table or opportunity on the table. If my words alone don't move you, last week we launched a sweepstakes for students who fill out their FAFSA. You can win up to $50,000. It's called the Ticket to Tuition. So all you have to do is fill out your FAFSA. But if that's not for you, if a 4-year degree or community college isn't your path, we got your back too. If you want to become a welder or an HVAC tech or another hands-on job like that, where you can make a good living, We should help you learn those skills too, because not everyone is on the same path, nor should we be. The same Michigan Achievement Scholarship can save you up to $4,000 on trade school. And to anyone in this room who's a little older but wants to go back to school, there's something for you too. In 2021, we launched the Michigan Reconnect. This is a program that offers anyone 25 and older a tuition-free associate's degree or skills certificate at their local community college. More than 66,000 Michiganders have already enrolled. If you ever dreamed of going back to school, now is your chance. We've made it more affordable than ever. We've made big strides to support our younger learners too. Last month, I announced that enrollment in our free pre-K program hit 47,500. This is the highest in a decade. Free pre-K saves families $10,000 a year and gives kids a strong start. We still have work to do, but this is a great beginning. And despite our record K-12 investments, including a 26 increase in per pupil funding, just a quarter of our third graders are reading proficiently. So we have work to do. The best way to get our kids on track is to make sure they never fall behind. And that's why the budget proposal in front of the legislature right now funds free pre-K and makes targeted investments in literacy so every child has a strong foundation. And one more thing for students in this room. I want to talk a little bit about housing. You know how expensive it is to buy or rent right now. Mortgage rates are still high, home prices have shot up, and first-time buyers are getting squeezed out. According to our friends at MSHDA, the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, we're still short 140,000 homes in the state. How can we make buying your first house or moving out of your parents' place more affordable? Well, we got a three-part solution. Build, baby, build. By increasing our housing supply, we can drive down your mortgage or your rent. In 2024, we made the largest investment to build housing in Michigan history, adding 10,000 homes. In my State of the State address, I announced that we're breaking that record this year to build 11,000 more. Housing affordability impacts everyone, including our local employers. Without affordable housing, businesses can't attract a strong base of talent, and communities can't grow. A few months ago, we launched the Employer Assisted Housing Fund. This is an innovative program that partners with employers to build housing for their workers. Chamber members, I know that you all share this priority, and so I encourage you to use the new fund to build housing in Cadillac. Voice your support to your legislators and all the decision makers in Lansing. I want to end by reminding the students of one thing. Michigan has your back. As you think about your future, I want you to know that we believe in you. We're proud of you. We want to make sure that you can live your dream right here in the greatest state in the country and the greatest country in the world. Whether you want to get your degree or become a master of a trade, we are invested in your education, your career, and your community. We want you to chase your dreams right here in Michigan. And to the business leaders in this room, let's keep working together to make that possible. Let's show our kids what's possible when we put politics aside and put our people and our communities first. I'm thrilled to be here once again in Cadillac. I thank you. This community always inspires me, and I look forward to seeing you for my last one next year. But between now and then, we got a lot of good work to do together, and so I thank you for inviting me once again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know that we always have a few student questions after the speech, so I'm eager to do that. Our students want to join us at the podium. Let's make sure your mic's working.
As a current student in the state of Michigan today, what is some advice that you have for those of us that are striving to reach the collegiate level?
Yeah. Colton, what do you want to do when you graduate? Do you know?
I am currently an applicant to the United States Military Academy.
Well, that's fantastic, and I guess, just to reiterate a few things that I said in my speech, because I think it's worth putting a finer point on. So we want to make sure that you and all of your fellow students know that there are a lot of opportunities that the state of Michigan is now has made available so that we can bring down the cost of whatever your path is. So whether it is going to a four-year institution or it is to a community college or into a trade, the key to unlocking a lot of this funding is by filling out the FAFSA. I think a lot of people think that it's going to be very difficult. I had two kids who are both in their early 20s, so we filled it out not that long ago, and it took a little time and a little bit of patience, but it really wasn't that difficult. When they were doing it, there weren't these opportunities available, but there are now for you and your fellow students. So you can receive up to $27,500 off of a four-year institution tuition. And because that's where your question went, that's how,
Hello, Governor Whitmer. My name is Olivia Peterson, and I'm currently a senior at McDade High School. My question is, in your 2018 campaign, you ran the slogan, "Fix the damn roads." With a big portion of road funding coming from the Michigan gas tax, how will this funding change with your push towards trying to have more people switch to electric vehicles?
And before you leave the mic, I want you to tell us what you're looking forward to doing after graduation.
I'm planning to go to a four-year college and then go to law school afterwards.
Awesome. And you're in the process of deciding where?
Grand Valley.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I appreciate the question. I did run on fixing the damn roads, and it wasn't because I had a focus group. It was because I went all across the state of Michigan, and people said, we just need you to fix the damn roads, no matter what part of the state I was in. And, one of the things that has many governors in a row have had a challenge trying to get a real wholesome long-term solution for our road issues. This is decades in the making, and a few years ago I created the Rebuilding Michigan Bond Plan because I couldn't get something through the legislature at the time, and so it was important that we start the process. We made a lot of headway, but it's coming to a close. So we're coming to a funding cliff right now, and that's why there's so much renewed urgency about getting a real road solution over the finish line. We've been able to do a lot with trunk lines. When you do a bonding plan, you can only use those dollars for state roads, and that's why our local roads still have so many challenges. And so the House has put out a plan. I've got a plan. There are some similarities. There are some big differences, but it's my hope that in the coming weeks and as we start our negotiations that we can really finally make an investment in the roads because we all rely on them. So the gas tax is challenging. We do see that there is some transition to electric vehicles, but not as quickly as I think some had hoped or anticipated. And so we're still going to have ICE vehicles. We're still going to have the opportunity to make our own decision about what kind of vehicle we drive. But at the end of the day, we are all using the roads, and we all have a duty to make sure that we are part of the solution. And so I do think that a long-term gas tax isn't going to be the only way that we can fund roads, which is why it's going to be important that we are working together and we're building a long-term plan that takes into account all these different factors. So thank you for your question.
Thank you. Hello, Governor Whitmer. My name is Evelyn Emmer, and I am a senior from Pine River High School. My question is, how will the dismantling of the Department of Education affect us as we go to college next fall? And what are you and your administration doing to help us with this?
Thank you for the question. I want to first answer mine. You know it's coming. What's your plan?
I plan on going to a four-year college for nursing.
Awesome. And you're a senior, did you say?
Yes.
That's great. Well, I hope that it's in Michigan, and I hope that you become a nurse here in Michigan. So
Thank you.
I think everyone in the room hopes as well, right? All right. I appreciate the question. I think that there is a lot of uncertainty. I know our business owners, small and large, have a lot of uncertainty right now. I know that every one of us, whether it's, you know, you're a retiree living on a fixed income and see, you know, all the changes in the stock market, I know that every one of us is feeling that uncertainty because there's so many different policy changes that are happening with great rapidity in Washington, D.C., and we don't know exactly what the changes of the Department of Education are going to mean for the state. I will say this. The DOE provides a lot of federal funding to states, to the state of Michigan included, Pell Grants, federal student loans, and a lot more. And so there are lots of lawsuits that have been filed, and a lot is in flux right now. So what I'm doing is trying to stay focused on what we can do at the state level. You know, my hope is that we don't see that incredible disruption because I know uncertainty, even when you are a senior in high school, about what is available in terms of federal funding coming down could determine whether or not you pursue the career that you want to or not. And so these tools that we've created at the state level may become even more important than ever because there could be that gap at the federal level. I'm hopeful that there's not, that we can continue to be able to rely on these dollars, but I think we're all feeling that sense of uncertainty, and I'll keep doing my part to mitigate it, at least at the state level. Thanks for your question, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Myself back in order here. Anyhow, thank you, Mrs. Podolsky, and thank you, Evelyn and Olivia and Colton for your questions. It was great to have you here, and they were very good questions. Thank you. So, as we're wrapping up, Governor, it's a great honor to have you here again in the Cadillac area, and we really appreciate you keeping your focus on our northern Michigan communities. We hope your travels are safe through the rest of the upcoming year. And as we conclude this morning's program, please remain seated while the governor exits the building. And thank you, Governor Whitmer, and please enjoy the rest of your day here in beautiful Cadillac. So, thank you, everybody. All right, students, please stay seated until your school name is called, and you'll meet up with your bus, I believe, out front, out back. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.